Sipping complimentary champagne, gazing at snow-capped peaks from my ridiculously plush suite, I started getting frantic updates. The tight-knit engagement party I'd supposedly bring down the vibe at had devolved into pure chaos. My brother caught cheating, his fiancée calling off the wedding, even fists flying. My phone exploded with pleas for me to come fix it. Seriously, why would I rush back to clean up the 5-alarm fire they deliberately uninvited me from? I leaned closer to my drafting table in my sun-drenched Portland apartment, the scent of pine from the nearby forest park drifting through the slightly open window. The late afternoon light, a rare treat after days of Oregon drizzle, slanted across the wide maple surface, illuminating the microscopic imperfections only I, Claire, seemed to notice, a habit perhaps honed over my 28 years, especially when perfection felt required. For the third time that hour, I meticulously adjusted the kerning on Ryan and Tiffany's wedding invitations, my fingers smudged with Higgins ink. The light caught the delicate rose gold foil accents I'd painstakingly applied by hand, making them gleam against the heavy cream-colored cardstock. Perfect. Almost perfect, I thought, a familiar internal mantra whenever I was working on something for my brother. Ryan deserved nothing less than my absolute best, even if this intricate design work, like so many favors before it, came without a price tag attached. My mind flickered back through years of late-night study sessions I'd helped him cram for, the countless times I'd dropped my own plans for one of his minor emergencies, the care packages carefully assembled during his time in the service, even discreetly covering a utility bill once or twice when he was short. It was just what I did. Family came first, always. I sighed softly, dipping my calligraphy pen again. This level of devotion felt like second nature, the unquestioned foundation of my relationship with my brother, ensuring his path was always a little smoother, often at my own expense. My phone buzzed against the oak surface, dancing dangerously close to my half-full coffee mug. Ryan's name lit up the screen, sending an instinctive, reflexive smile to my lips before I even read the message. Parties this weekend. It began cheerfully. Guest list is super tight for the get-together up at Tiff's parents' place on Lake Chelan. Hope you understand. My hands froze mid-adjustment, the delicate calligraphy pen slipping from my numb fingers. It left an ugly, unwelcome streak of black ink across the sample invitation I'd just perfected. What? I whispered the word to my empty Portland apartment, the sound swallowed by the sudden silence. I read the message again, then a third time, certain I'd misunderstood. Super tight. Understand? As I reached for my phone, blindly trying to grasp its smooth surface, my elbow knocked against the ceramic mug. Dark coffee bloomed across my pristine sketches, the liquid seeping into the expensive cardstock. I barely noticed. My eyes were fixed on the message, the cheerful words blurring. My brother wasn't inviting me to his engagement party? Trembling, I dialed Dad's number. He answered after 4 rings, his voice distracted, slightly annoyed. Everything okay, Claire? Dad? I started, trying to keep my voice steady. Ryan just texted me about some party this weekend. For his engagement. There had to be some confusion. A beat of silence, then a heavy sigh flowed through the line. It's just a small get-together, Claire. Nothing formal. At the lake house. But I'm his sister, I pressed, pinching the bridge of my nose, feeling a headache begin. I've been working on their actual invitation designs all week. Look now, honey. His tone shifted instantly to that familiar, dismissive one I knew too well. "It's a small thing. Don't make this a thing, okay? Don't make this a thing, okay?" Dad's words echoed in my ears long after I hung up, the dismissive tone leaving a cold knot in my stomach. A small thing. The afternoon light suddenly felt harsh, exposing the messy ink stain on my ruined invitation proof. Hours of unpaid labor for a brother who couldn't even invite me to celebrate his engagement. My phone pinged again. It was my cousin, Megan. "Just got the invite link for R&T's party. You coming up to Lake Shaylin this weekend?" "Looks amazing." My stomach twisted. "Invite link!" I typed back quickly, my thumbs clumsy. "What invite link?" 3 dots appeared, disappeared, then reappeared. A long pause followed before her reply came. "Oh. Awkward. Thought you'd definitely be there. It's at the Hendersons' lake house, like the whole crew is going." "The Hendersons?" "Tiffany's parents. I asked her to forward the link, a request met with another uncomfortable delay before it landed in my inbox. I clicked it, my heart pounding. The screen glowed with a cheerful, professionally designed web page, an online invitation platform. "Join us for a lakeside engagement celebration." The details swam before my eyes, but one thing became unmistakably clear as I scrolled down the guest list. This was no small get-together. The count easily exceeded 100 names. Ryan's work colleagues, distant relatives I barely knew. Tiffany's entire sorority chapter, it seemed. Everyone, except me. Dad's excuse about me being uncomfortable with crowds flashed in my mind, now tasting like ash. "They've been doing this for years, Claire," Megan's next hesitant message read, confirming a sickening suspicion. "Remember Thanksgiving last year? Ryan's homecoming? I thought you knew. Megan's words landed like tiny daggers, each one finding a place where a past slight, a last-minute change of plans, a vague invitation suddenly clicked into painful focus. Strategically uninvited, from my own family. For years. The realization settled like a cold, heavy stone in my gut. My gaze drifted from the cheerful online invitation, mocking me on the screen to my laptop, open to my online banking portal. Years of careful saving stared back at me, the balance painstakingly built by skipping vacations, driving an older car, choosing practicality over pleasure. Emergency money. Money that had always been readily available when Ryan called with his latest crisis. The unexpected car repair. The forgotten bill. The $2,500 loan from last year he still hadn't repaid. My cursor hovered, trembling slightly, over the web browser tab I'd left open for weeks. The Park City, Utah ski resort I'd daydreamed about visiting forever, the one I always put off because someone else always needed me more. Not anymore. With a surge of adrenaline that felt like recklessness and liberation rolled into one, I clicked. Book now. First-class ticket, non-refundable, Mountain View Suite at the Summit Lodge for 6 nights. The confirmation email arrived almost instantly, its arrival a small digital detonation in my quiet life. My hands, steadier now, snapped a photo of my passport beside the flight confirmation. I uploaded it to Instagram, fingers tapping out the caption without hesitation. When you're not on the list, you make your own. The first-class cabin surrounded me with a quiet luxury I'd never allowed myself. Soft leather cradled my shoulders as I sipped complimentary champagne, the bubbles a strange mix of guilt and exhilaration fizzing stronger than the alcohol. Another? The flight attendant gestured, and I heard myself say, "Yes, thank you." without the usual mental calculation of cost versus worthiness. The Mountain View suite at the Summit Lodge made my Portland apartment look like a closet. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed snow-capped peaks bathed in alpenglow, turning the slopes rose gold. The king bed seemed impossibly large. The marble bathroom gleamed. My phone vibrated incessantly on the polished wood nightstand. Dad, Mom, Ryan. I silenced it, placing it face down. Whatever fire needed extinguishing back home, they'd have to find another bucket. The next morning, clutching a coffee mug in the lodge's breakfast nook, Megan's face filled my tablet screen. "You weren't supposed to hear it," she whispered, "but Tiffany told her sister you'd bring down the vibe. Said you're always so serious." Bitter coffee coated my tongue. "Bring down the vibe." "Ryan didn't defend you," Megan added, eyes darting away. My phone pinged. "Mom." "Sorry, honey, but you know how they get." Megan continued. "This isn't the first time, Claire. Remember ... The pieces clicked, sickeningly. Last-minute changes, vague invites. They had been doing this for years. Later, strapping on skis for my first lesson, my instructor, Jake, adjusted my boots. "First time?" he asked, his weathered face kind. "First time doing anything just for me," I admitted. By afternoon, sharing hot chocolate with Linda, a retired teacher, and David, escaping work stress, I felt a tentative lightness. For moments, I forgot my phone even existed. The lodge's great room buzzed with après-ski energy, firelight dancing across cozy seating clusters. I sank into a leather armchair, finally feeling the knot between my shoulder blades loosen after 3 days away. My phone vibrated against the polished wood table beside my mulled cider. Once, twice, then relentlessly. Curiosity, that old unwelcome guest, finally won. 17 notifications, nearly all from Megan. SOS! Complete meltdown happening. Call me now. I hesitated, then slipped outside onto a quiet, snow-covered terrace. Megan answered instantly, party noise exploding through the speaker. "Oh my God, Claire! You're missing major drama." Her voice was a chaotic blend of horror and morbid fascination. "Ryan's been practically making out with Jessica Morgan. Yes, that Jessica, for the past hour, right in front of Tiffany." "What?" The word formed a visible cloud in the crisp mountain air. It got ugly. Tiffany threw her champagne right in his face, screamed the engagement was off, and stormed out with her bridesmaids. Despite everything, my stomach tightened. Old habits whispered, "Fix this, smooth it over." Then I remembered. I wasn't important enough to be invited to this disaster in the first place. "That's not even the worst!" Megan rushed on. "Ryan punched the wall. Pretty sure he broke his hand. Dad's losing it, yelling at everyone. Grandma Evelyn, though, total legend. She marched right up to Ryan and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, 'This is what happens when you cut out the only responsible adult in your life.'" A choked laugh escaped me. The invisible support beam. The fixer. Not this time. "I should go," I said finally. "Signed up for a moonlight snowshoe hike." "Claire, did you hear me?" "They know where I am," I replied simply, ending the call and silencing my phone completely. Hours later, muscles pleasantly aching from crunching through pristine powder under the moonlight, I returned to my luxurious suite at the Summit Lodge. The quiet felt profound after the shared camaraderie of the snowshoe hike. Taking a deep breath, I finally turned my phone back on. The screen erupted in an avalanche of notifications. 14 texts from Ryan, escalating wildly from angry demands. "Where the hell are you?" To guilt trips. "This wouldn't have happened if you were here." And finally, desperate pleas. Please call. Everything's a disaster. 8 missed calls from Dad, followed by a curt text that made my jaw clench. We needed you. You abandoned your family when it mattered most. 3 tearful voicemails from Mom, each ending with her signature sigh. Please don't make this a thing, honey. And 1 message from Tiffany, surprisingly, sent just 30 minutes ago. I need help. Ryan's a mess. Can you talk some sense into him? My thumb hovered over Ryan's contact, muscle memory nearly taking over. For a split second, the old Claire considered stepping back in, absorbing the blame, fixing the unfixable. Instead, I navigated to his name and pressed block contact. The screen asked if I was sure. I'd never been more certain. Dad followed, then Mom, then Tiffany. Each tap felt like shedding a heavy weight I hadn't realized I was carrying. With a sense of calm resolve, I called the front desk. Hello, this is room 342. I'd like to extend my stay by 4 more days, please. Afterward, I snapped a selfie by the crackling fireplace, the flames casting a warm glow. 0 regrets. 100% peace. I captioned it, then silenced my phone, placed it on the nightstand, and slept soundly, truly undisturbed for the first time in years. 9 days after fleeing Portland, I drove my rental car, not Dad's sedan, to the Daily Grind Cafe, a neutral territory I'd chosen for our reunion. Through the window, I saw them huddled at a corner table, Dad checking his watch, Mom nervously stirring her tea, Ryan with an arm awkwardly slung around Tiffany, who was scrolling intently on her phone. The familiar tableau of impatience tugged at old habits, but I straightened my shoulders and pushed open the door. Claire! Mom spotted me first, half rising. We saved your favorite spot. I slid into the empty chair, setting down my leather portfolio with deliberate care. Its weight felt grounding. You look different, Ryan mumbled, squinting slightly. Skiing agrees with me, I replied evenly, catching the barista's eye instead of his. Well, Dad cleared his throat, taking charge as always. Let's just put this unfortunate business behind us. Your mother's been beside herself, and Ryan and Tiffany need help planning the rescheduled party. Tiffany nodded eagerly. I've already started a spreadsheet. Before we move forward, I interrupted, my voice quiet but firm. We need to address what happened. Claire, Dad warned, dwelling on unpleasantness. I'm not dwelling, I cut him off. I'm establishing context. I opened my portfolio, withdrawing a sheet of paper. On February 16th last year, Ryan, you called needing emergency help. I transferred $2,500. That loan remains unpaid. Ryan shifted. Last September, I missed Diane's birthday to finish your rush announcement design. I placed my phone on the table. And here are Dad's texts, telling me not to make a thing out of being excluded from your 100-plus person party. Silence fell. They stared as if I'd sprouted horns. I'm here to establish boundaries, I stated, laying out another sheet detailing my requirements. Acknowledgement, 2 weeks' notice, loan repayment within 6 months, a 20% family discount only, and respect for my no. If these are crossed, I limit contact. So, you're leaving? Dad sputtered as I added, I've accepted a design contract in Austin. I start next month. Ryan wiped an unexpected tear. Claire. I didn't realize. 6 months later, the wide Texas sky framed the view from my Austin apartment window. The crisp February air, scented with cedar, felt like a luxury I fully embraced. Postcards from weekend trips, Santa Fe, Boulder, lined my corkboard, tangible proof of my newfound independence. My phone lit up with Mom's weekly video call. "You look rested," she observed. "I am," I replied simply, no lengthy explanation needed. She mentioned Dad saw my billboard design for a local coffee company off I-35, commenting it had my signature style. Progress. Later, a text from Ryan. "Sample invitations came. Used your color suggestion. Thanks." No drama, just acknowledgement. Grandma Evelyn's witty letters arrived weekly, bulletins from the home front chronicling the slow, awkward shifts in family dynamics. "Your father actually asked how to make your mother's birthday special without burdening you," she'd written last week. My design business thrived, and mentoring Emily, a talented student hesitant to claim her space, felt deeply rewarding. The revised wedding invitation sat on my coffee table, a simple ceremony, 30 guests, my name in Ryan's hand. I'd RSVP'd yes after booking my own hotel room. Attending didn't mean reverting. As the setting sun painted my walls a warm amber, I felt a quiet gratitude for courage, for mountains, both literal and metaphorical, and for the profound satisfaction of a life finally, truly, my own. Loving myself first had made all the difference. Looking back, that trip to Park City wasn't just about the incredible snow or the fancy suite I finally let myself enjoy. It was really about finding my way back to myself after years of unconsciously tying my self-worth to how much I could do for others, believing that quiet self-sacrifice and being the go-to fixer was what made me valuable. I learned the hard way that constantly putting everyone else's needs first, without any real boundaries, just leads to burnout and feeling completely taken for granted. That brutal text message, as much as it hurt, was the wake-up call I desperately needed. It forced me to stop and face the truth. Setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's essential self-preservation. It's not about pushing loved ones away, but rather about teaching them how to respect my time, my energy, and my feelings, which is the foundation of any genuinely healthy relationship. Maybe you felt that too, that fear of disappointing someone if you say no? I definitely did. But the sense of peace I discovered when I started prioritizing my own well-being, even in small ways at first, is worth so much more than any temporary approval. Living life on my own terms now, I realize that true fulfillment comes from being authentic to who you are and what you need. I wonder if any part of my story resonates with you, if you're also navigating that path of reclaiming your own voice and space. Please know you're not alone. Feel free to share your thoughts. I truly believe connecting over these real experiences gives us all strength.